CBAI.
Hey all, this is Cam with CBAI. Today we're going to be doing Let's Play Suno. If you're not familiar, Suno is a music AI production tool. I'm calling this a Let's Play just like the video games because even though it's not a video game, it's a lot of fun to play with. And today we're going to be covering as many tags as we can, meta tags in the software, in the AI. So let's jump in there. You can see I'm over on Suno, and I had a request from one of my subscribers, Steve, that we should do the Suno Wiki. So if you're not familiar, this is pretty cool. Go to suno.wiki, and there's a lot of articles and links on here on how you can get better at your prompting in Suno and become better at creating music with it. Now, I did do a previous Let's Play video where I talked quite a bit about there's some tags in here that will the verse and chorus tags and the pre-chorus and bridge and song structure tags. So I'm gonna be using these, but I'm not gonna go quite as in depth as I did on the other one. I may talk about them a little bit, but we're gonna go into some other things and play around, but overall just make it kind of freeform here. I also want to bring up that with Suno, the more music theory you know, and the better you are trained actually in real music and real life, not just typing in the computer. If you can learn or start learning an instrument and taking some music lessons, this will actually, I believe, make you quite a bit better too in Suno. So that being said, let's jump over here. Let's go ahead and create a song. I'm gonna go with, let's say, I'm gonna try a Synthwave song, and let's make it not an instrumental. Let's add some lyrics. I'll use Write with Suno, and then we can either use a classic lyric model or a Remai. I believe it's pronounced Remai. It gives you some wild lyrics sometimes. So let's write a song about staying up way too late, having fun with making synthwave songs with Suno AI. We'll write the lyrics and uh, let that generate. Okay, so my two lyrics options came up here. Let's look through this. Something that you can do that will make your songs better is always to keep in mind the genre that you're writing in. Um, there's a quote from the famous bebop and jazz saxophone player, alto saxophone player Charlie Parker, and I'm paraphrasing it here, but he essentially says something like, "If you don't live the music, it won't come out of your horn." And what he meant by that is if you, or what I think he meant by that is if you are not like involved in the music and listening to it, enjoying it, if you don't spend enough time listening to a genre of music to really understand it and enjoy it and internalize it in your own soul, so to speak, then it's going to be hard for you to write good music in that genre. So it's kind of like if you've ever heard, one example is, let's say you get a classical piano player, and they're really good at playing piano, but on classical pieces, but then you give them some jazz and it just sounds wrong, like it just sounds clinky clunky. That's because they're most likely are not jazz fans and not listening to it, so it doesn't comes out right, even though supposedly they're supposed to be the greatest because they're the classical musicians and the most trained classically, right? um, Now, not to say that there aren't classical musicians that can't play jazz as well, that's common too, but that's one example. Or let's say, for example, you've got a metal drummer and he just plays metal all the time, but he doesn't listen to any jazz, but he thinks he can play jazz because he can like read the, maybe read the drum notation. And then you hand it to him and he's like technically playing it right, but it just sounds wrong. Like it's not in the pocket, it doesn't have a groove, it doesn't line up right, it just sounds clinky clunky, or it just sounds basically like a metal musician trying to play jazz. What I'm getting at with this little interlude here is that whatever genre of music you're writing in, including the lyrics, if you are a fan of that genre, you're probably going to be better at it because you have an intuitive feel for what the best songs of that genre and how to kind of add your own feel into it. So if there's a genre that you do want to write and it's not coming out right, or you don't like how it's sounding, it may also be sometimes that perhaps you need to listen to more of that genre. So what you could do is go online, search for like the top 10 albums in X genre, or the most influential albums of the genre of this decade, whatever it is, and then go listen to those, and that's going to make you better and a more educated and musician. Because I think you can be a musician through AI, although you're just going to become better at music by listening to the different genres, especially one that you're less familiar with, and you'll get better at writing. So that being said, back into the lyrics. Let's read through and think about some synthwave lyrics. So let's see. Verse is 2 a.m. sunrise, 3 a.m. records, 4 a.m. still alive, 5 a.m. finally asleep. These lyrics are about staying up too late while making music with Suno. Verse 2, 2 p.m. sun gone, 3 p.m. rise, 4 p.m. catch up, alive just in time. Stay up late every night and I'm working excellent. Makes a record sound nice. It feels like the weekend. Anyone can try it out, turn it on and let it go. Beautiful ideas, never forget it. 7 p.m. sun gone, 8 p.m. chop, 9 p.m. now and I'm feeling excellent. Learn a little bit more each night. We put into what we hear and what we want to hear. Some things never die. I'm going to go with that one. I don't want to spend too much time on these. We're just doing this for examples, so I'll accept that. But I don't feel that they're particularly synth wavy. So let's go in and make it custom. This is where we can really get detailed with everything in our tagging here. I really am a big fan of intros. I talked about this in my previous video as well, but you got to do more than just type intro. That could work, but let's be very specific. Let's go. You could use a lot of different adjectives in front of your tag. So we're going to have intro, but let's make it some kind of intro. What kind of intro should it be? Should it be instrumental? Should it be, what kind of emotion should it feel? Let's make this one, let's make this an upbeat track. And I also love mixing genres. My previous video I did the same thing. I'm really interested in using AI to create new sounds that haven't been done before. So I think I'm going to stick with that track. I'm totally deciding this randomly now, but I think I'm going to keep with trying to mix styles, mix genres. So I'm thinking I'm going to go with city pop. If you haven't heard Japanese city pop, I'm a really big fan of that style, that genre. So, and I think it goes along well with synthwave. So let's go with like upbeat. So you can put it in the front too, by the way. You can put it in the front or the back. If you put it in the front, it would be like upbeat, city pop, intro with horns. Horns meaning trumpets, trombones, those kind of instruments. And then you can also do things like this, even before maybe your intro. Go like this, quick fade in. I think fade in is one word. We can actually see if it tells us here. Checking into the Suno Wiki here. I bet you I could even search it. Let me see if it gives me intro. Short instrumental intro. I don't think they have fade out, fade to end. Let's just do fade in. And then we have upbeat. Oh, and then let's maybe add like some kind of lyric like this, like a yeah. And then it goes into the beats. 2 a.m. All right. These lyrics, let's see, they don't really rhyme. Sunrise, making your lyrics rhyme is a good thing if you're going for that and it fits your genre. Most music does. Sunrise and still alive. 3 a.m. records. Finally asleep. Gone. Rise. Up in time. I don't know if these lyrics are gonna be very good. Let's modify them a little bit. Sunrise. forget the word for this, but these are, if you put them in parentheses, and it's like adding backup vocals, that can really make your song better and take it to the next level because you're adding layers to your music. Sorry, 2 a.m. sunrise, 3 a.m. records. I'll leave that the same. 4 a.m. still alive, alive. 5 a.m. finally asleep. I don't like 3 a.m. records and asleep. They don't rhyme, and I think they should, in my opinion. So, um, what rhymes with records? Um, or maybe we should do finally asleep. 3 a.m. Record the beep. Beep beep boop. We'll just make it goofy. Finally asleep. Catching Z's. I don't know if this is actually going to turn out to be a great song. I haven't tried it, but that's the other thing. If you're okay with burning through some credits, you can experiment with the lyrics. It can really influence the songs you're coming out. All right. Also, I'm not really sure if he's going to pronounce that z z z z z z z z or if he's going to pronounce it z's. So maybe I should make it z's like this. Okay, 2 p.m. sun gone. 3 p.m. rise. None of these rhyme. 2 p.m. sun gone. 3 p.m. That doesn't even make sense. 2 p.m. sun gone. There's probably some deep meaning in these my lyrics. I've heard that they can pop out some good ones. I don't want to spend a lot of time on modifying these because I've done it before in the other videos to talk about lyrics. I'll just try to make them rhyme real quick. 2 p.m. sun gone, 3 p.m. rise, 4 p.m. catch up, alive just in time. Okay, fair enough. I guess that time and rise are like loosely rhyming. They're not exact rhymes. Alright, chorus. Let's make it catchy. Stay up late every night and I'm working excellent. Making a record sounds nice. Making records sounds so nice. So nice. It feels like the weekend. Hey, hey. Alright, good enough. Let's add in here some more tags. Let's do some tagging. Low key verse. With catchy vibes. I don't know. Catchy vibes. I hope you can see by doing all this tagging wherever it is, you can have all these base tags that are like song structures or instrumental, but adding a lot of adjectives in there to describe what you want can really influence the AI in the right direction. So let's say verse 2 is going to be you can also do them like this, a little bring in the, let's say like bring in the slap bass. I don't know if it'll do it, but we'll try. No bass. Like that. Okay. And then for the sake of keeping it consistent, let's try this. Okay, verse 3. Oops, 3. Okay. And then I'm kind of a fan of this too. Let's do the after the bridge, let's add an instrumental section. Let's go city pop, city pop, uh, groove, instrumental with funky synth pads and crazy arps. Let's try that. That's a lot of information. Probably with the AI, not everything that I've typed in here is actually going to come out on a song. Depends. If you're just lucky, you kind of roll the dice. Hopefully, one will come out with enough items that you like. But I do kind of like stuffing it with a lot of things that I love in music, in the style, so that I can get as many as I can. So it's kind of like without overloading it necessarily, like increasing your chances of success of getting like a song that you really like that's to your artistic style. And I feel like you will be able to overcome the objections of people who say that music AI is like just stealing all the artist's music and just copying other people in the same style, because you're adding your own artistic touch to it and trying to create something that's genuinely new using the tool of AI, using AI like your instrument instead of just expecting it to like make me a song that sounds like Madonna or what have you. So okay, instrumental, city pop groove instrumental interlude with funky synth pads and crazy arps. And then I like it. I like to add like a build up a little bit. So let's go like this. Maybe we can try post bridge build up. Build up is nice. Post bridge, and then let's just like hook. I consider like this a little bit different than a hook. A hook would be like just catchy thing that repeats over and over. I consider a build up like it's building up in energy, but it could be repeating the same words. So, um, staying up so late, yeah, baby, baby. Let's make him say, up so late, yeah, baby. Staying up so late, yeah, baby, baby. Staying up so late, yeah, baby, baby. Staying up so late. You do. Yeah. Staying up so late. Drum build up. I got to groove. All right. Insert guitar solo, insert whatever here. City pop groove instrumental. I did realize as we've been talking about this that I didn't really add any keys in here that give me synthwave. So let's go with catchy synthwave. Synth. Let's make it synth pop. Synth pop chorus. I really like synth pop. Catchy synth pop chorus. I also don't like it when there's the chorus only one time. Let's just make it a little bit longer, the song a little bit longer by repeating it twice, like this. Oops, okay. Don't need two blanks there. And then let's put this here again after verse 3, or excuse me, verse 4. Let's do this. I still have a lot more than almost half of my keys left, or my keystrokes left. So, keystrokes is the wrong word, but you know what I mean. And then we'll go into the bridge. We do the post bridge build up. Got to go to groove, and then we'll do this synth pop groove instrumental interlude. Let's try one more thing. Brief silence. Oh wait, like this. Because you got to build up, right? So it's like I got to groove like that. I'm talking quietly because I don't want to wake people up. It's late at my house, literally. Um, let's do like this. Drum build up. Brief silence. All instruments stop. And then let's go like wild vocals. I got to groove. I don't know what it's gonna do. It might be funny, but goofy. Then we go into our instrumental section. So you can see I add a lot of tags there as well. Um, really, the key, like the bass tag, if you want to call it that, is instrumental or interlude. Instrumental interlude. But then I've got all of these descriptors in here, like city pop would be my genre. Groove is giving me style indications. Funky is also giving me style and rhythmic indications. And then synth pads is giving me instruments that I want to hear in there. Pads meaning like if you have a synthesizer, the pads would be the ones that you're playing like chords with it versus like playing doo doo tink tink tink. That's not pads. Pads is like playing long notes and things with multiple playing chords basically with synthesizer. And then ARPs, I'm actually not sure how to describe that. What is an ARP in music production? An arpeggio is a way of playing a chord by playing the notes of the chord in sequence rather than all at once. It's like that's an ARP basically, and you can use it in DAWs. If you don't know what a DAW is, that's a music production software that stands for Digital Active Workstation, and the most famous one is Pro Tools, but there's a lot of other ones like Ableton Live, or I think Pro Tools is considered a DAW. I always thought it was. I always liked using Ableton Live before, but now I'm doing AI, so it's fun. Okay, that's good. Let's finish our song. I'm gonna do another chorus. That's like this. Let's go back into the chorus. Let's add with horns playing. Well, let's like make a modification of the chorus. Add an extra layer of it. See if I can get it to do it. Playing funky arpeggios. See, a lot of this also has to do making good music in Suno has a lot to do with understanding just what a good music is, like what the structure for music. For example, like if I'm having a really good funky song, and then I have all this instrumental section. When I bring back in the chorus, I'm adding a little bit of a variation and variety, and then in the end, because it's so funky at the end of the song, hopefully it's gonna, by adding in these horns and playing funky arpeggios, it's kind of like I'm adding that final extra layer to make the song really stand out and make it interesting at the end, and just like make it a fun way to end out the track versus just repeating the exact same thing I had before. It's giving variety for the listener, and by putting it at the end, it's kind of like you save the best for last. It's like encouraging people to stay to the end of the song, if that makes sense. It's where like you probably had it where some songs they just go on and on and on and on, and you just like the good part of the song was in the beginning, and then it just kind of trails off and how good it is at the end. You don't want to you don't want to do that. You want to have um, you want to have fun stuff in your music all the way through. So that's my thought. And then I'm thinking with this one, let's go like this. Fade out to nothing, to silence. Sometimes you can just use fade out. I'll just try that. This is very experimental. You never know what you're going to get. So thanks for hanging with me while we build this out. Alright, let's try it. And then we got to get into some styles. So we said synthwave or synth pop with mixed with city Japanese city pop. So one thing I've noticed in the style of music, the first one you type in there, that's going to be the one that the AI takes the cue the most strongly from, and then the other ones are like your secondary genre style indicators. I tend to feel that the first one, in my experience, the first style that I put, especially for trying to combine genres, the first one matters more. So if you want your song, for example, I was making my good mood metal track and I was trying to combine, and I think it turned out really awesome, in my opinion, smooth jazz and um, metal. So I want to make something happy sounding, but genty and like really metal at the same time. I had to really I believe it was usually I had to make sure I had metal in there quite a few times, or like metal mixed with smooth jazz, not just like one or the other. Otherwise, it'll just pick up on it and like really get stuck on that one idea. So let's go like, um, which one is more important? Let's try both. We'll go Japanese city pop mixed with synth pop. And then I like to do this, and I really like to like force feed that AI that I really want this. Maybe four times there because it is kind of a long descriptor. I have 48 characters left I can use. Uh, let's say horn section, meaning trumpets and trombones primarily. Section, slap bass, I mentioned that. Slap. I'm running out of words here. I'll delete one of these. It does matter. Sometimes you have to like tell it so many times for it to do it the way you want it. Slap bass, horn section, horn section. What else did we say? Uh, groove. I'm checking through my list to see what other tag indicators I gave, because I feel like this also does help to to bring them into your style if you can. Stay up every late, catchy vibes. I said no bass there, so I'm reviewing what I wrote. I think the one that would really would need an extra little boost of encouragement in the AI would have to be not the slap bass. Maybe maybe I'll just put catchy or like groove. I was thinking synth arp too. Oops, arps. There, arps arp. Okay, who knows? So this takes this. You do have to. Let's call it late night Suno. All right, I'm not going to use any personas this time because we're trying to go fresh. All right, I've got two loading. Let me show you another thing. If you're trying to do this mixing thing that I'm talking about, I'm gonna flip this around. So instead of saying Japanese city pop mixed with synth pop, I'm gonna say synth pop mixed with Japanese city pop. That does help as well. So synth pop with Japanese city pop. Let's see, like this. Oops. Perfect, it fit in there. Synth pop mixed with Japanese city pop. And then we've got all of our other ones the same. Let's try that. Okay, we'll go ahead and let those load. Alrighty, so here we go. I generated those tracks. I actually took the liberty to do some more. I had a break in between here it's actually the next day for me, so that's why my background's a little different. So I did and made some new tracks, which I'll talk about too. But let's give a look through. I did take the liberty as well of listening to these, so there was four tracks that we made, right? Two under this prompt and two under the synth pop prompt. And so both times, one of them was good and the other one I didn't really like it. So I thumbs up the ones that were good. So let's go over and check them out. This is going to be the Japanese city pop focused one with synth pop as the secondary genre. And then you can see down here, these are our prompts. Uh, One thing I've noticed is that didn't work. It was okay as these writing it in such a way like this, low key verse with catchy vibes. What we just did, I'll show you that. I think there's a way that we can make it a little bit better. So let's just give these a listen while we're here.
Excellent. Stay up late. Sun gone, 3 p.m. rise, 4 p.m. catch up, alive just in time. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice, so nice. It feels like a weekend. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice, so nice. It feels like the weekend. Try it out, turn it on and let it go. Beautiful ideas, never forget it. 7 p.m. sun gone, 8 p.m. job, 9 p.m. now, and I'm feeling excellent. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice, so nice. It feels like a weekend. Excellent, makes records sound so nice, so nice. It feels like a weekend. Hey. Learn a little more each night. We put it into what we hear and what we want to hear. Some things never die. Staying up so late, yeah, baby. Baby, staying up so late, yeah, baby, baby, staying up so late. I got the room. Working excellent, makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend.
It does go a bit off the rails there. You can see it went 4 full minutes and then it just made up a bunch of stuff at the end. But it did kind of get to an end, so we could use extend feature maybe if we wanted to keep that track. And just extend it and maybe put the end meta tag at the very end there, which I'll show you. I did do that. Some things I noticed about this version, yes, it definitely had a little bit of that city pop, that jing jing chak jing jing chak of feel to it, but it also had synth pop. It really, like, because of the synthy well, the synth art, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh, I was always losing the words, but the synthy sounds, the synthy like the leads, the synth lead sounds. Um, One thing it did not catch up on is it did not pick up on horn section. from my style. I didn't really hear any trumpets or trombones in there. I thought it would know what that meant, so that wasn't correct. Slap bass, like bum, bum, chicka, bum, 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 like if you're thinking of the show Seinfeld, that bass line, I was hoping that it had kind of that in there, but it didn't really add it, although it did take some of my input into where I wanted the bass lines to do things. Um, and then it was pretty groovy and pretty catchy. ARPs, yeah, there's kind of like ARPs in there. I didn't, that was experimental for me. I didn't know if it would what it would really do with it. But again, ARPs are really like kind of like the computer telling the computer to play arpeggios. And the fade in, it didn't really fade in, although it did have yeah, and we noticed that. When I was thinking fade in, I was wanting it to fade in the volume into the full song, and then but I think this one had kind of an intro to it. Let's double check. I think it just goes straight into the song. Let's double check here. Okay, so what this really did was, in my opinion, it did this upbeat city pop intro, although instead of horns, it did synth lines, which is fine because we tried to combine them, to combine the city pop genre and the synth pop genre. So I would say it didn't really do horns. It just did a lead with a different synthy instrument, and then the yeah is actually really happening after that. It still sounded good. It's okay. I feel like with AI, I've said it a lot on my videos that you can't be as nitty picky with what it gives you. It's kind of like rolling the dice a little bit, and you just got to pick the right colored dice basically, and then hopefully it'll give you something you like eventually. Um, and then we can like prompt it to get it a little closer to where we want. I do think this was a really pretty low key verse. I can't remember if it took out the bass, but I can say that I noticed when I wrote in for verse 2 bring in the slap bass, it didn't have slap bass, but it did kind of have a feel where it was bringing in extra parts to it. Um, Let me see if we can find that.
2 p.m. sun gone, 3 p.m. rise. 2 p.m. sun gone, 3.
Okay, I was wrong. Verse 2 doesn't really do this bring in the slap bass, it just kind of continues. But it did do it in verse 4, I believe, where it kind of has this feel where it's bringing in extra instruments, so that did kind of affect the tag. Let's see if we can find it. Let's listen to verse 3 again. I tried to give it no bass and give it catchy vibes, right, and make it feel low key, and then we're going to bring in more sounds as it goes on once we hit verse 4 by tags. That did sort of kind of work, I believe. So check, hope I'm right here. Okay, so we're hopping in at verse 3, and we're going to listen specifically for right here as well. Once verse 3 is over, listen to where it brings in some extra instruments.
Anyone can try it out. Turn it on and let it go. Beautiful ideas, never forget it. 7 p.m. sun gone, 8 p.m. job, 9 p.m. now, and I'm feeling excellent. Stay up late.
Okay, so it did. It brought in, it made it a little bit more bassy. Yeah, maybe not exactly what I envisioned in my mind, but it still did something along the lines of what I wanted. So I said this as well, that AI is kind of like it's kind of like hiring an artist, and you tell them what to, if you had unlimited money and you tell them what to paint, and then they give you your painting and you're like, ooh, that was okay, but let's revise it, do XYZ more. I realized I didn't tell you I wanted this little thing in the corner of my painting or whatever. So you gotta do kind of burn through credits on that sometimes. And then the bridge was cool. If you're not familiar with the bridge, that's a section of a song where you've got your verses and then your choruses. The chorus is like the big catchy part usually that everybody remembers. The verses are the part where, in a sense, it's like giving you more information of what the song's about. The verses are variable in terms of what the lyrics are, and then the chorus is like the big part that everybody wants to sing along to in the car, on the radio, or whatever. Bridge is like, okay, let's go into a new section that sounds a bit different so we can do a little bit of palate cleansing in our ears and our brains. We're getting tired of this verse and chorus. Let's try something else to add a little spice and fresh it up, and then we can go into other sections from there. And then usually you'll hear more verses and more bridges, or verses and choruses, depending on the song. You can even put more bridges in there if you want to, but that's the purpose of a bridge. I would say like literally build a bridge in your song so that it's not just too much like repeating over and over the verses and the choruses. So spice it up. And then I wrote in post bridge build up. I was imagining that it would be like starting quiet and getting louder and louder until there's a drum build up, and then I wanted it to go totally silent while the guy shouts I gotta groove, and then go into like a really funky instrumental. It didn't do that exactly, but it did have a bit of a build up. It did give me a post bridge, and all that means post bridge would a section that comes after your bridge and kind of links up with it. So and then I made it, yeah, a build up is a good way of doing it, is making the repeatedly repeat over and over, similar to a hook, right? But I was hoping that it would build an intensity. And then he does say I got to groove with the wild vocals where it kind of goes crazy with his voice. And then it did work where it went into the groovy city. It's really long, but the tag here that's important is instrumental interlude. So you could put instrumental or use the word interlude or use them mixed up together. That's like the core, the base of this influencing it. And then all of these extra things that I've added, like city pop groove, funky synth pads, crazy arps, that's all ways to influence how I want my instrumental interlude to sound. And so let's listen to that one more time real quick so we can, after we've kind of analyzed it here.
Learn a little more each night. We put it into what we hear and what we want to hear. Some things never die. Staying up so late, yeah, baby. Staying up so late, yeah, baby. Staying up so late, yeah, baby. Baby. Staying up so late. Got to rule. Stay up late every night.
Okay, so that didn't do it exactly how I wanted, but you can see it still gave me something I like. I thought it was pretty fun. It didn't really give me the brief silence, so that tag didn't really work. I wasn't able to get it to just cut the music there. Um, I might have been able to do it if I wrote staying up so late, dot, 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 and then I wrote in all capital letters with no brackets drop or stop. I mean, excuse me, if I wrote stop exclamation point, I don't know for sure, but that's just coming in my mind right now that that might influence the music. Sometimes the lyrics actually, even though they're not a tag, they do influence what Suno is doing with the lyrics. I've noticed that. And then he didn't really have too crazy of a vocal here. Um, and then it kind of went into like instead of drum build up, it did do a little do 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 like fun little instrumental section. Then he says I gotta groove. Then it goes into this cool instrumental with the pads and the arps. Not explicitly, I would say they're arps, but it had that almost. What's that guy's name? There's an artist. I'm trying to think of the name. uh, it escapes me, but the synth leads were there, and they were little. Sometimes if you put crazy and there's crazy synths, I've noticed that Suno will make it go ooh like a really wide vibrato on them. That's something you might want to remember. The word crazy, it tends to make it a little bit crazy, like people's voices go way high, or they like start singing a little wild with their vibratos. And then you can notice down here, I wanted to have a chorus again after all of this instrumental section, but I wanted to sound a little different. So even though the words are the same, the notes are roughly the same, the chorus to make it a little fresh and feel like it's coming to the end of the song, um, I had it still the base tag of chorus and catchy synth pop, but as compared to the other choruses where it just says catchy synth pop chorus, I added with horns playing funky arpeggios. It didn't quite, I don't think, do that, but it did create a chorus that had a little bit of a different vibe to it, even if the notes are roughly the same. And then there was some kind of a fade out ending section, but then it kind of goes off the rails at the end, so we'd have to go through and extend the song and do some modification from there if I was going to keep this song. So let me show you that part that we were just jumping into the end here. We can just quick recover it.
Late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend.
Okay, something, and I just noticed this now. If you were noticing and listening closely, this section, what it did different was it actually did take my drum build up and my bridge build up and my brief silence roughly, and it kind of applied it to this section instead. So that was kind of interesting, and then it went into the full chorus. So it did kind of take my tags, it just put them into a different spot than I was expecting. Okay, so after all I've said all of that, I did realize that I picked the one that I didn't thumbs up. So let's check through this one as well. I think this is my B version that I liked more. Again, this is still City Pop, but it's the B version of the first try. Let's give this a listen.
Sun gone, 3 p.m. rise, 4 p.m. catch up, alive just in time. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend. Anyone can try it out. Turn it on and let it go. Beautiful ideas, never forget it. 7 p.m. sun gone, 8 p.m. chop, 9 p.m. now, and I'm feeling excellent. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend. Learn a little more each night. We put it into what we hear and what we want to hear. Some things never die. Staying up so late, yeah, baby, baby. Staying up so late, yeah, baby, baby. Staying up so late, yeah, baby, baby. Staying up so late. I got to cruise. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend. Hey, hey. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend.
That was awesome. Let's go through that and analyze that one. I really liked that one, to be straight up. Something that I sticks out right away is that, did you hear at the end there? It did give me a trumpet, which was really awesome. The trumpet was at the end, a little solo instrument there. That was cool. I also noticed that if I'm going backwards this time, going through the tags, just because that's my memory helping me out here. Uh, this the chorus section at the very end didn't really do these horns playing with funky arpeggios either. It did apply the horn more towards the fade out section. Um, I did notice as well that there was a brief silence area. I think it applied it down here somewhere. Uh, in another spot. So sometimes I've noticed with these, when you get really creative with the tags, it's like kind of taking your tag and putting it in a more appropriate place based on the song that it's generating versus doing it exactly where you told it to do. Um, Side thought on that is that I've said this before too, that if you can learn music theory, if you can go take some music lessons, that may help you in getting better at Suno, because you're going to be thinking through your track when it comes out. You may be able to find places to add these tags that make a little bit more sense based on the flow of the music and the time sections and whatnot. So I'm thinking of that. Okay, so we just talked about the end. I remember at the beginning something is that it didn't quite do a quick fade in so much, but it did go into a great intro, a good city pop intro. I also noticed in the beginning that it did have more of that synth pop sound with the little twinkly, starry sounding things at the top. That's how I describe it. It sounds like stars that are twinkling, with that feel. And then I also noticed, which was pretty cool with this one, the verse, both verse one, verse two, that when it's in verse one, it did not give me the bass, and then in verse two, it did bring in the bass, even if it's not necessarily like the slap style I was going for. I think that was just too much information for it. That was cool. The choruses were great, very catchy, and then it did it again here. It did not play the bass for the verse three, which is what I have here, no bass. And then it did bring in, and it was pretty low key actually. It had a little bit low key, and then it brings up the volume and it brings up the number of instruments, and the size of the mix feels bigger in verse four. And then go into another good chorus. The bridge did the same thing we talked about in the previous video, or not the previous video, the previous song we just analyzed. That the bridge, it gives us a new flavor. It slowed things down a little bit, let us take a breath in this song, catch a breather before we start running again. And then we had this staying up so late, yeah, baby. That was great. This whole section played out really well. I believe there was a little bit of a stop, even though if it wasn't a full-on like complete silence. He says I gotta groove a little bit better, more naturally in this section. And then the instrumental interlude, I believe there's like twice in here, but it was really great overall how it came out. Let's just quickly go through and talk about that and reanalyze it really, really quick here, not spend too much time on it. But remember, it didn't really do the fade in, so that tag's not working great right now. But we had a quick intro that with a nice yeah in there. Here we go. Okay, that was our little intro. Now notice here that there's no bass in the first verse. I believe in the first section it shouldn't have it.
2 a.m. sunrise. 3 a.m. record the beat. 4 a.m. still alive. 5 a.m. finally asleep. Catching sea.
Okay, now check in verse 2. It's going to bring in more of a bassy sound to it.
2 p.m. sun gone. 3 p.m. rise. 4 p.m. catch up, alive just in time. Stay up.
Okay, so it's didn't keep the exact same beat, but it brought in more bass sound in there. And then I will skip through this. I just wanted to go over to talking about analyzing this section, because we have a lot of extra tags in here like wild vocals and silence. Let's go check that out one more time.
Shop up late every night. We put it into what we hear. and what we want to hear. Some things never die. Staying up so late, yeah, baby. Baby, staying up so late, yeah, baby. Baby, staying up so late, yeah, baby. Baby, staying up so late. I got to groove.
Okay, that was awesome. You probably noticed that here it does build up. It does add a little bit more energy as you're getting through. Then it does do a little drum build up. It does have a brief kind of break into the music like that. He does shout, I gotta groove with a woo like that. So that wild vocals did work there. And then it went into a quick interlude that does a little bit of funky stuff, but then it goes back into another drum buildup, and then it does another silence. So it kind of took my tag, went back, repeated that a little bit, and then it went into my full instrumental interlude. So again, like I say, that was really good. It's be open with the AI giving you something a little even more creative than possibly you had thought of. And then that's about all I wanted to cover on that one. All right, I have one more song that I did thumbs up, and I liked it quite a bit. This one. The previous songs that we listened to were more on the city pop focus side, with the synth pop as the spice, if you want to call it. But the main meal here on this version of it that we did earlier is we made synth pop the main course of our dinner, and we made Japanese city pop the gravy on it, if you want to call it like that. Or we made synth pop the rice, and Japanese city pop is the side dish. Okay, so the synth pop's the main one here. Let's give this one a listen so you can see how the same tags we've been using did influence the AI. And then the difference between this, really the only difference, is that I flip-flopped synth pop in my prompt. So I made synth pop primarily, and then Japanese city pop is secondary. Let's give this a listen. Oops, not that one.
2 a.m. sunrise, 3 a.m. record to beep, 4 a.m. still alive, 5 a.m. finally asleep, catching Z's. 2 p.m. sun gone, 3 p.m. rise, 4 p.m. catch up, alive just in time. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice, it feels like the weekend. Hey, stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice, it feels like the weekend. Anyone can try it out. Turn it on and let it go. Beautiful ideas, never forget it. 7 p.m. and sun gone, 8 p.m. chop, 9 p.m. now, and I'm feeling excellent. Anyone can try it out. Turn it on and let it go. Beautiful ideas, never forget it. 7 p.m. sun gone, 8 p.m. chop, 9 p.m. now, and I'm feeling excellent. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice, it feels like the weekend. Stay up late every night, and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice, it feels like the weekend. Learn a little more each night, We put it into what we hear and what we want to hear. Some things never die. Staying up so late, yeah baby. Baby, staying up so late, yeah baby. Baby, staying up so late, yeah baby. Baby, staying up so late. I got to go. Stay up late every night and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend. Stay up late every night and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend. Stay up late every night and I'm working excellent. Makes records sound so nice. It feels like the weekend.
Okay, that one also kind of had a weird ending, but the it had a good ending, and then I did some extra blah blah, blah at the end. This one was really fun. This one was way more on the synth pop side. It had that dun, 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 that feel to it, that kind of rock synthy feel vibe. Versus the city pop one is more of a groovy, funky kind of feel to it. Um, this one was cool. You noticed there it did have sort of a fade out quiet section. That was, I think this one did the closest to that tag where it created um, a section that really kind of quiets and fades out the song. Not exactly a fade out literally where you're on the bar and you're just closing down the volume slowly. And it didn't quite go straight to silence, but I actually like this more than what I typed in, so I'm cool with that. Um, let's see. The post bridge build up area was good. We did have it very loosely followed kind of my thing. It didn't have an exact brief silence with all the music stopping, but it did have a build up and then a section that kind of stopped for a moment, I guess you could say. And then it had a really great. He did say I got a groove with a really wild, crazy voice. It sounded a little bit fake, to be honest, but sometimes that happens. So maybe I would go in and redo that. But the then the city pop groove instrumental, that was fun too. I would say it was more on the synth side than the city pop side. That was really great. Something I noticed that was AI did that was a little bit random and threw me off guard if you didn't notice was that it repeated verse 3 and 4. I didn't tell it to do that. Sometimes synth pop does that, or Suno does that, where it just repeats a section and you didn't tell it to. It was okay. I still think it's catchy. What else did we talk about? Well, anyway, I just wanted to show you that one as well. So these are all my first try. I did not use any revisions here yet or remastering or anything like that. What we're going to do next time is the next video. I want to continue this. We're going to continue with these songs. And what I've actually done is I've started using a technique to try to modify my tags a little bit, but still keep the same song. And what I'm doing is I'm using covers. We're going to talk about that more next time. So stay tuned. I'm going to release another video on this and we'll continue through this topic as much as we can. I want to keep going in here. I'm doing it a little bit freeform. So if you find this video helpful, please give me a like. If you anything you want to see me do in the future, please give me a comment. And the things that you don't like, if it's constructive feedback to help make the channel better, feel free to put that in there. I am listening. I'm not going to be offended. And even if I am, I'm not going to tell you. So put it in there and then help me get better so I can serve you better and help you also have a good time using Suno and make your music better. I do think that going through this way, it does take longer. These videos aren't as short and to the point as a how-to video, but we are dealing with creative endeavors. So it's a little bit different than here's how to make a perfect song, step 1 2 3. Usually that ends up feeling formulaic for people if you're trying to be try to do something creative and artistic. So That being said, please, if you find this video, give me a like. If you love making music with Suno and we want to keep all learning together, give me a subscribe. I love putting out these videos, and I'm also putting out my own music too. Give that a listen if you like those genres that I'm posting. And then lastly, share it with your friends if they're also making Suno, and leave, like I said, like, comment, subscribe. You know the deal. Anyway, thanks again for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. And take care. Have fun with Suno.